Hello there. Happy Valentine's Day. Today I'll be sharing with you a project all about love between my characters. I made a quick, simple sketchbook and endeavored to draw 8 of my favorite OC relationships, one each from 8 different stories, which I realize is a weirdly specific number, but I wanted to get this video done in time for Valentine's, so I had to limit myself. Also decided this would be a good project to break in my new crayons. Aside from crayon feeling like a very Valentine's appropriate medium to me, I just bought 3 packs and I'm very happy to use them. I haven't had my own crayons for I think 3 years now because a flood damaged a ton of my art supplies a few years back and my crayons were included in that. So a couple weeks ago I bought a pack of Twistables, Bold and Brights, and glitter crayons. My brother also recently gifted me a cute set of Valentine's themed pencils and it felt appropriate to use them here. It's been a long while since I've worked with crayons, so it took me a minute to adjust and get back in the groove. For most of the pieces, I ended up finding a rhythm of sketching in pencil, gently placing light, then shadow, then blending them both with the base color, then either going over everything with white, bold, and bright crayon, and then lining with the black glitter crayon, or do the last part the other way around. I also did start with a thumbnail for maybe like half of these, but I did not do it for all of them. I will clarify now, I didn't say couples because 1, there are some polyamorous relationships here, and then 2, some of them are not canonically dating together official on paper style, like shipping within my own characters. Which leads me to the first relationship. I chose my characters Emily and Bobby from my story Forever Heaven. Since I feel I know them best of all the characters here, I thought they'd be easy and fun to start with. I would say they have a complicated dynamic. I think the best way to describe their love is like ships passing in the night. They care very deeply and passionately for one another, but things are never quite right around them. I want so badly for them to be happy, but they never get to truly explore too much together. So here is a rare moment of joy and peace together for the two of them. They both love to dance, so here they're going to be swirling around, laughing and singing as the party dies down. I want all of the drawings to be warm, sweet moments personal to these characters that would actually take place in their stories. Tender little snapshots into their love lives. Next are 2 of my brother and I's characters, Hitsuki and Chandra, from our story of Violets and Roses. Hitsuki is one of his characters and Chandra is one of mine. They're part of a toxic emo girl band in the 2000s, Hitsuki being a primary lyricist and Chandra acting as her voice. They meet in college, both with a passion for music, and run towards the shining lights together. Or at least they tried. Their relationship is constantly evolving and very intense, and hardly do they ever share the label of girlfriends, but sometimes they do. Regardless, they have a crazy spark, and it stays lit long after Hitsuki has departed from the very band she formed. This would take place during their early performing days, having a fun little stage game moment together before the incident. Moving on, this is Brixton and Delilah from my story To the Top. Unfortunately, they are hardly ever in this story. It breaks my fucking heart. They have to haunt the narrative. They would both be so beautiful in a dead wife flashback sequence. Fly high. The story follows Brixton's sister and Delilah's mother uncovering the truth of their loved one's untimely deaths on a hiking trip among friends, and how they decide to deal with that truth when they find out about it. Brix and Delilah were so truly in love, like sickeningly perfect and made for each other. They were 2 peas in a pod from the second they met, and they spent a good amount of their childhoods as best friends. They'd only started dating near the end of high school. Here, they're at a friend's place for a house party, sitting on some beanbags, playing games in an empty room. Brix is feeding her a candy bar, and she's feeding him a piece of pizza, and they're having fun, giggling and flirting away from everybody else in a quiet, secret spot at the party. I also wanted to give them matching pink hair for Valentine's Day. They both had a lot of fun with dyeing their hair and self-expression in general, so there were certainly times that they coordinated. Next are my characters Brooklyn, Guppy, Katerina, and Caroline from my story Undone Orbit. Guppy and Katerina are besties, and they are also aliens. They crash-landed their UFO on Earth after a reckless night of partying and tipsy driving, or I guess flying, and it was towed. Brooke was having car troubles as well, her best friend Carol coming to bail her out, and that's how they all met. They are not one of my polyamorous groups, let me be very clear. They are all 4 like so very monogamous, but I thought they would be perfect to do a double date. 2 pairs of besties going out with another pair of besties, how fun! These 4 definitely do a lot together, so I can absolutely see them doing double dates. Like, they'd defo do a double wedding if they like the whole marriage thing. Anyway, here they are at a diner. Kat and Carol are getting very into sharing their fries, maybe a little too much so. Brooke got a milkshake with 2 straws for her and Guppy, but not only is Guppy distracted blowing bubbles into her soda, but Carol is about to knock that shit off the table. She's so involved in this mutual fry eating that she can't tell her tail is in another customer's hair, and she is actually another character from the story, Nancy, and one of her girlfriends, Barbara, is coming to meet her for lunch, currently gawking outside from the window as she walks in. Next are my characters Angustias and Ira from my story Angel of the Field. Angustias was born an only child to 2 farmers, and her parents were gifted a scarecrow at the time of her birth. Angustias is frequently very lonely. It's the 1800s, and all she has is like hoop and stick and no friends. She goes out to the field to sit and read with this particular scarecrow a lot. In her early adulthood, Angustias loses both of her parents in a short amount of time and is now entirely alone in completely new ways. In her grief, the scarecrow that she talks to all the time starts to move and comes down to talk to her one day. That is Ira. This scene is probably the gloomiest of them. It's pouring rain, Angustias is on her knees, pouring her heart out to Ira. This is before she comes to life, but there have been many times where Angustias is so overwhelmed and all she can think of to deal with it is to go out and talk to Ira. So she goes out to the field, she rants and raves, she'll laugh, she'll cry. Today she's looking for guidance and comfort. She's being very vulnerable. She looks to Ira for what to do. Ira, of course, is not brought to life yet. She isn't animated, so she's just standing there being a scarecrow, but it still helps Angustias to just see her and to talk. Ira's a good listener. Next are my characters Maya, Ellie, Paige, and Debbie from my story Reflections from the Row. They are 4 of the nearly 50 psychic children of incarcerated mothers who were then born and raised in a testing facility of sorts. And no, it is not Stranger Things, I promise. I know how it sounds. I already know how it looks. No, I do not feel like explaining more. These 4 have a naturally very close and intense relationship, and while I don't think they use labels the same way most people do, there is this acknowledgement they are girlfriends. They are definitely ride or die, I'll tell you that. In this scene, they are lounging on an abandoned car under a bridge playing with their dog, Al, who they stole from Ellie's dad after tracking him down and informing him of their existence. Hey, it's not on them. Ellie's dad was being a jerk, and he left his dog outside, tied to a stake in the cold. Not on them. Next are my characters Corvus, Akaji, Nia, Tyrion, Ashlyn, and Aurelius from Stasis Equidae. They are almost always on the move, all on journeys to somewhere, which they later end up realizing is the same destination. Akaji and Aurelius are both ex-knights. Ashlyn and Nia are both witches from a small community nearby. Corvus fled to this island seeking refuge, and Tyrion lives among a community of people who have the ability to change into unicorns. They do all end up formally together eventually, but for most of the window of time we see in the story, they're in this like 40 chess advanced situationship. Akaji and Aurelius know each other from their occupation, meeting as children that were both in training. They didn't put a label on it at that point in time, but they were a lot of each other's first. Nia has had a crush on Ashlyn that she's pushed down for ages, and Tyrion would sneak out of her village to meet with Ashlyn, the 2 of which did have a formal declared relationship. When they broke up, Ashlyn cursed her, making Tyrion unable to go back to her unicorn form at will or at all. She did not mean to do all that. She is bad at her spells. She's very girlfrill. She beefed it really, really bad. So they went their separate ways for a bit before the 6 of them all ended up convening. Corvus showed up late to the party, so he doesn't have insane history with anyone like that. He's new in town. Anyway, here they are having a bit of sweet respite from their long, grueling travels. They've set up a fire, and they're also staying warm with nice, comfy blankets and with each other. Corvus, Akaji, and Nia chatted up and cuddle. Ashlyn is braiding Tyrion's hair, and Aurelius looks and listens in awe. These warm, lovey-dovey fireside talks are very frequent for them. They have a lot of time to talk, and so they do. Lastly, we have Delara and Jewel from my story Eternal Externality. Delara is a fleshy robot human replica of sorts, and Jewel is a zombie that later has said zombieism reversed. They les out. That is all that matters. A lot of the story window we see takes place in the grounds of a theme park, which Jewel was employed at in life as a ticket scanner level employee. The guy the theme park was named after had a problem with excessively hunting animals, so to atone, they created a small zoo inside to house his favorite animals to hunt, and then some others, like animals that were featured frequently in the theme park's entertainment and media. Long story short, with it being post-zombie, these 2 not quite being human, the animals feel very interested in them. They develop a lovely friendship. Delara and Jewel spend a lot of time out here with this elk and yak specifically, and I just wanted to draw them having a nice, calm, soft afternoon with their big, weird beasts and each other. As a final note before the end, I just wanted to say I really like how blending the pieces with the white bold crayon looked. I enjoyed how it would pick up little flakes from everywhere and redistribute them throughout the piece. To me, it felt a lot more harmonized seeing the colors scatter around as I blended it. I also ended up getting crayon literally all over the back page. I was going to flip through the pages, but my cat stepped all over the sketchbook and ripped most of them out of one of the holes, breaking them, which means it's very flimsy to handle. So instead, here they are as static shots. I had so much fun making them. I hope you enjoy! that's all. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely day and happy Valentine's!